If you clicked on this video, you may be within one of three camps. Number one, you've implemented group projects online and things did not go so well. Or number two, you implemented group projects online and things went great. You're just an educator looking for more ideas. Or number three, you're considering implementing group projects online and you're just not sure if it's worth the hassle. Well, I'm Kellie Alston, your e-learning strategist who is passionate about helping you master the art of teaching online. And in this video, I am going to share with you what I've learned about how to make group projects run smoothly in your online course. In fact, this is the beginning of a new series that I'm doing here on my channel. So I want to welcome you to this series. All right, now, before we get into the content, I want to let you know that I want you to fall in love with teaching college students at a distance. I didn't enjoy the first 3 years, but 16 years into it, I love it. And I know that you can too. And I want everything that you do in your course to be purposeful and meaningful and increase student success and keep them engaged. So I created the F.A.C.E method, 4 keys to mastering the art of teaching college courses online. And in that course, I'm going to teach you how to facilitate, assess, communicate, and empower your college students. So I would be honored if you would head over. You can stop the video now and go right on over there and then come back and enroll in that course, because I believe that something that I've experienced and something that I've learned is going to bless you and help make teaching online more satisfying for you and learning online more enjoyable for your students. All right, let's get started. I'm going to go over in this video the purpose of implementing group projects online, the benefits, and also the 6 essential elements that make group projects easy in your online course. Okay, let's talk about purpose. Now, we have been assigning group projects in higher education forever. I was in college in the 90s and we were doing group projects. But why should we do this? Why should we continue assigning group projects to students? I want you to think of only 2 reasons to do so, major reasons, and because I'm also going to get in the benefits. But you should want to develop a deeper understanding of a concept in your students through the group project, or you want to provide practical application of a skill. Those are the only 2 reasons or fundamental reasons that you should design a group project and assign that group project to your students. Now, I want to share 2 quotes from 2 phenomenal industry businessmen, motivational speakers, researchers who work with companies and also work with individuals. And the first one is Brian Tracy, and he says, "Teamwork is so important that it is virtually impossible for you to reach the heights of your capabilities or make the money that you want without becoming very good at it." You need a team in this life to be successful. You can't just do everything on your own. You can go a little ways on your own, but in order for you to reach your full potential, you need a team. You need a support group. You need people in your corner. And so I think teamwork is so important. Group projects are so important for our students for this very reason, because we want them to be their best selves, and working with other people brings some things out of you that perhaps you didn't even know exist. Another quote that I think is powerful about teamwork is that none of us is as smart as all of us, Dr. Ken Blanchard. Now, Dr. Ken Blanchard, let me tell you about him. He's done groundbreaking research. He in the area of thought leadership, in the area of business. He's a business consultant, a speaker, and author. And he has influenced the day-to-day management and leadership of people and companies throughout the world. I wanted to get his accolades right. He's published 60 books, and Brian Tracy has published 70 books. So these are people who are well versed in how important it is to be able to work with other people, but also to develop the self so that we can contribute to the whole. So I thought those quotes were just really powerful. So as we move from the purpose of group projects, let's talk about the benefits. There were so many benefits. Let me get my cards. My students have been implementing group projects now for 13 years, and they do it so well because of the things that I've learned about it. And it's just, I don't feel right, I'm telling you, when my students do not get to experience a group project. So I make sure some courses have multiple group projects in them, but some courses may have just one group project. But this is the reason why, or these are the reasons why I continue to make sure that group projects are the thread that weaves my course together. All right, the first one is interpersonal skills. Now, let me tell you what interpersonal skills covers. Interpersonal skills covers communication skills, reliability, leadership, positivity, negotiation, openness to feedback, empathy, teamwork, active listening. Our students need to hone in and master all of these skills. They learn all of this from working with other people. Now, because this is our first video in this series, I'm not going to go in depth into all of these, but I just wanted to bring to your attention that all of the benefits that they get from working in groups, well-designed groups, that is, group projects. All right, goal setting. Your students are going to learn how to set goals. Now, we just stuck right here with interpersonal skills and goal setting. Imagine how phenomenal, how dynamic, how influential, how impactful our students could be in the marketplace, in their own lives, if they could just develop their interpersonal skills and learn how to set goals and, of course, achieve those goals. The next thing that they learn from group projects is problem solving. They develop problem solving skills internally, and they develop problem solving skills as it relates to working with other people. Intrapersonal skills. That's something that we all need to work on. And intrapersonal skills cover self-talk. How do you talk to yourself? What do you say to yourself? Are you saying encouraging things? Are you saying uplifting things? Introspection, personal reflection, self-analysis, your emotional intelligence. These are the things that students learn when group projects are designed well and they get to work with other people. How often do we need to just stop and sit back and analyze ourselves and talk well to ourselves? And so these are things that they can learn when a group project is designed well. I know I keep saying that. And they learn to work with other people. Time management. Now look at what we have here. Interpersonal skills, set those goals, learn how to problem solve, learn how to relate and connect with ourselves, and then learn how to manage our time. Woo woo. And there's one more. I see that my students have an awakening. When they work in groups, they'll say things like, I didn't realize I was like this, or I realized that I need to compromise more, or that I need to spend more time getting my portion done because it affects other people's grade, or it affects the energy when we meet together when people haven't done what they're supposed to do. They come to these realizations as they work in groups, not when they're working by themselves. So look at all these bubbles: interpersonal skills, goal setting, problem solving, intrapersonal skills, time management, and then awakening. All of this can happen as a result of working in groups and completing group projects. Now let's get into these 6 elements. The first thing that you are going to have is choice. You want your students to have an element of choice in any project that they do. So for example, that choice might be that they get to pick their own topics, Or that choice might be they get to pick the way they share the information. And there's all other kinds of ways that you can, provide choice. But let me give you an example. In one of my senior level courses, my students do a multimedia project, and they get to choose, although I tell them, what the content is supposed to be, they get to choose whether they want to do a webinar or a podcast or an infographic or a website. Okay. And I give them information about that. They can research that, and then they make a decision about how they're going to share that information. That's choice. Adults need choice in their courses. I have another course, it's a special education course where students do a presentation, which I have decided the type of presentation, which is a screencast-o-matic recorded presentation that they do on risk factors that cause developmental delays. Now, they can choose from a list of 10 different risk factors for their presentation. There again, they have some choice. So you want to make sure when you have students working on a project that they have choice about what it is that they are doing. Number 2, detailed instructions. I cannot tell you how this will change your life. When you have step-by-step instructions on what students are supposed to do, and you have a specific assignment-specific rubric, which provides somewhat of a checklist by which they can gauge the quality of their own project, it changes the game for them and makes things more clear or clearer. All right, you must have weekly live sessions. I repeat, please do not assign group projects and your students are not required to meet. It causes problems. Now you say, okay, well, how can I do this when they're taking an asynchronous course? And I'll get into that further in the series, but let me just say this. You can have them self-enroll in a group based on the time that is convenient for them. But you have got to make it mandatory that they attend those sessions. Let me give you an example. My students in my summer school course, which is asynchronous, the course was only for 4 weeks and some change, like 4.5 weeks. And so the group, the assignment, let me say this, it was an independent assignment that was due the 3rd week, but I let them have the option in this particular course of doing it as a group. Well, they had to meet week 2 live and week 3 live because the project was due on Saturday. So I had Tuesday groups, Wednesday groups, and Thursday groups. They signed up for the group that they wanted to be a part of based on the day of the week that the group met. But they had 2 live sessions to prepare and to discuss the group project. Hope that makes sense. All right. Now, group roles and project roles. You want to have both. You're probably thinking, why do I need group roles and project roles? Well, group roles are what help the group function during the live sessions. And those roles include a group leader, a timekeeper, a reporter, reflector, and a publisher. Those are the 5 roles that I advise you to have. But project roles are those roles that students have to fulfill in order for the project to get done. So think about it this way. You may be the vice president of an organization, but then your organization has smaller committees within it. So your organization might have an outreach committee, and you might be the chair of the outreach committee as well. So that takes nothing from the fact that you serve as the vice president, but you also are a leader in the outreach committee of that particular group. It's the same thing with your group projects. Your students are going to have group roles that help them function well and hold people accountable, but they're also going to have project roles that they have to complete in order to get the project done. Next, you're going to want to have planning spreadsheets. Your students need physical documents that help them see and plan what they're supposed to do. Now, you can have your students use sites like Trello for this, but I suggest that they have a written document. They can go to Trello and do all the planning that they want, but you want to have a place on your LMS, on your course shell, a group page for the group to be able to upload their planning sheet so everybody can see it. There's not, I didn't know it was over there in Trello, I didn't know it was over here, but right there on the group page that the group shares in the same course, they can see the planning sheet, they can plan, post their dates and deadlines, and they can post it for everyone to see. And that leads us to weekly deadlines. Anytime you have students meet with groups online, you have to inspect or have them to inspect what they expect. And that means that they need to break that that project down into smaller parts. And they need to have deadlines set for those parts. And all the group members need to inspect those parts to the group project. And that's why during those live sessions, they're so critical, because that's when they can actually talk about the different components of the project that are getting done. They can pull them up on the screen and actually collaborate and discuss them, and not just have them somewhere where everybody divided up their section, everybody put it up on some, on their group page and looked at it, or you assume they looked at it and then they turn it in for a grade. It really becomes a collaborative process because they have weekly live sessions, they have roles, they have planning sheets, and they have deadlines. All right, so let's review. I'm so excited about this series because I have so much to share with you, but I just wanted to give you a little taste of what we'd be getting into with Group Projects Made Easy. The purpose of your group projects are to develop a deeper understanding of a concept and to provide practical application of a skill. The benefits have such a long range. They are interpersonal skills, intrapersonal skills, goal setting, problem solving, time management, and that awakening that just seems to happen. And then there are 6 elements that you need in the group project process. Your students need choice. They need detailed instructions and an assignment specific rubric. They need weekly live sessions. Don't leave that out. They need group and project roles. They need planning spreadsheets, and they need weekly deadlines. Those are deadlines that they establish, and sometimes they're deadlines that you establish. But we're going to get into that more as we delve into this series. So what do I want you to do? I want you to hit that subscribe button. Why? Because, and don't forget that notification bell, because I'm going to be sharing what I've learned about group projects with you in this series. I want you to be one of the first people to know about it. Let's master the art of teaching online together, and I will see you in the next video.